Hey guys, Stuart Schreier here from SEO Cheat Guides. Today I have Robert Pene on from the Outreach Bandits, and we're going to be talking about digital marketing and how he's building his digital marketing agency and some of the takeaways that you guys can enjoy. So without further ado, I'm going to ask Robert to tell us a little bit about himself and your background. How'd you get into digital marketing, Rob?
Well, first of all, hey, thank you, man. You have some great shows, some very good content.
Thanks.
Your Facebook community is awesome. So I'm glad to be a part of it and contributing. But you really got some good stuff, man. Hats off to some of the stuff you're doing. So I appreciate that.
Awesome.
So it's a really cool story, man. I grew up in American Samoa. I'm an islander in the
Okay.
South Pacific. I'm not a big guy, so I didn't play football. But my ticket off the island was baseball.
Oh, nice.
So I got all my college paid for at a private school in Michigan, and I made the USA All-Star team to go to Europe. But when I left for school, I had to learn how to communicate back and forth with my parents and my family in Samoa, because if I pick up the phone for a collect call, way too expensive. So back in the 90s, the internet was just growing, and I had to learn how to type. So I kind of grew a passion for all the internet stuff back then, and it just kind of parlayed into, I guess, eventually into what I do now.
So
Yeah.
what are you doing today? What in terms of digital marketing and what you're currently selling, how you make your living today? What are you doing? What kind of services you offering? And starting from your beginning in terms of getting online, which is a great story for sure. Now, where have you kind of evolved to? What are you selling? And bring it back to the digital marketing realm.
Yeah, so I'm gonna backwards plan. So right now, I'm just selling PPC. That's kind of my lead. Pay per click, right? AdWords. Well, actually, it's lead generation through paid advertising, pretty much. So I sell generating leads using PPC, AdWords, Facebook, and then also managed LinkedIn profiles to generate leads for people. So that's my offer, right? So when I do my outreach, that's pretty much my offer.
So from there, when you were doing digital for your employer, you eventually made the transition to where you were getting your own clients. So when you were first getting started, what were some of the things you were doing to actually land your new clients? A lot of people watching today are in the
Yeah.
same position. They're looking to fire their boss eventually. Right now, they're doing it as a side hustle. So they're in that position trying to go out and get those clients to build up enough kind of monthly income so that they can go out on their own. So what are some of the things or some of the stories or some of the learnings that you can share in terms of building an audience or building a client base while you were working?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if you're familiar with Noah Kagan.
Yes.
So Noah, he did this a program where how to make your first dollar, right?
Mhm.
So I wrote the exact how I did it on one of, I think it's how to get your first customer.com or something like that. But that the part of the story was in there, and that was one way that I did it. It was the do it for free, right? I did web design, the WordPress customization stuff for free for three different people, but I chose specifically the people that I knew were kind of influential,
Okay.
that had some people that they could, basically they had an audience, and I knew them personally, so I just reached out to them and say, hey man, look what I did, and at the time I was teaching, so when I left the, actually no, I'm sorry. Um, when I left baseball, I came into ministry. Ministry, I did a lot of. I actually traveled the country 75 times a year for 4 years, and I got all those bookings just through marketing online.
Nice.
Uh, so I did that, and then I learned how to do, connecting with people and pitching and selling, and then I ended up teaching because I was also teaching at the same time. But then I did teaching full time, and then I stopped teaching because my baby came. But when the baby came, that's when I got to learn how to actually build websites.
That's when there was a little bit of pressure to perform.
Yeah, my shift was graveyard shift.
Yeah.
So I was holding baby on one hand and building sites on the other.
Okay.
Back then it was iThemes, right, with James Dallman and I forgot the Corey something, but they were building iThemes. But I learned how to do that, and then I took that skill set and I started asking some people because I wanted to generate more money off to the side. I started asking some people, hey, let me build your site. Look what I did for my class. So
Gotcha.
I built a website for my class, and back the term flipped classroom wasn't common. It's common now, but it wasn't common back then. So I created a website and I put up all the content so they would learn it before they would come to class.
Gotcha.
And then in class we would just talk about it. We wouldn't really do much work because the expectation is you already learned it on the website.
Gotcha.
And then YouTube and all that stuff. So I showed everybody my website, and then that's how those guys said, okay, yeah, you can do it. But I said, when I do it, before I give it to you, can you think of 3 people that you can recommend so I can sign them and ask them to pay me? Because I'm not gonna ask you to pay me right now, because we're buddies. But I need to build a portfolio. So I did the free for 3 approach.
Okay, so let's summarize that. So one of the things that people can do out there is definitely reach out to people in the community, have a bit of a persona in the community, offer them free service, do a good job for them, grab some conversion assets like a testimonial, like a video testimonial, so that they can use that in order to go promote to other people, plus ask those people to refer some people for business. Definitely, no matter when you did that, I still think that works today. I would imagine you agree.
Yeah. It's the best thing, and that's what a lot of people would probably go to BNI or other networking, right? And all of that is based on referrals. Mm-hmm. So it happens every day, asking for the referral.
Okay, so let's fast forward a bit. You started that way. You started to build some clients. You're a digital marketer in-house. So what are you doing today to bring in new business? I'm assuming you're not giving it out free anymore. So what's today's onboarding?
So, slightly similar, but I do a lot of cold outreach right now. I still get a lot of referrals just from people, but definitely a lot of cold outreach. And how that came about was around the same time I was building the websites, right, and teaching. Then I started to reach out to random strangers based off of a challenge from my friends. So the same people that I asked, hey, who do you know that I could build a site for, I asked them the same question. Hey, who would you like to get in contact with if you had one person? So then they would throw out celebrities and all that stuff. So one person in particular said someone that I had no idea who he was. So I reached out. We started to talk and had a great friendship. And you might know but he was the founder of an organization in Orlando, the Orlando Magic. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Pat Williams. Pat Williams. I reached out to the guy, no idea who he was. But it was super cold. And then once I started talking to him, I realized who he was. Then I tried it again with other people, and it just worked. So I knew that reaching out to people just off the cuff works. From there, I helped a friend build an agency just through email, tailored a few things, made him a lot of money. Then I realized, what the heck, man, I'm making nothing. I'm making peanuts. So then I decided, I'm going to do it all for myself. So then I just ended up doing it for myself and just kind of parlayed it into where I'm at now.
So that's how I kind of heard of you, in terms of like people that are in our group had come to me and told me, hey, have you heard of Rob? He's doing some really cool things on outreach, email. You had pulled together a program. So, what is your experience around outreach? Because I know a lot of people today, there are programs out there like Scope Leads. There's all kinds of ways that people are automating outreach. You and I probably have our opinions as to, automating a process that's not working is only going to make, that more effective of not working. But there are definitely strategies that you have in place, I'm sure, that are helping to increase conversions on cold emails. So let's talk about that, because from what I understand, you send out quite a bit of email. So what are some of the things that you've learned in terms of outreaching? Obviously, reaching out to the founder of the Orlando Magic worked for you, so I'm sure you have all kinds of secrets you can share with the audience on that front.
Yeah, and just a quick plug, man. On the website, Outreach Bandit, there's a list of tools that I put together of a bunch of tools where you can either pull the leads from, or you can throw it into that software to send out.
I'll link to that page where they can opt in and grab it.
Yeah, it's 50 plus, something like that. And I continue to throw more as I find. But Scope Leads, you mentioned Scope Leads, great tool, absolutely great tool, especially for digital marketers, because it's built for digital marketers, right?
I've had Leo on the show, big fan. He's put together a good product, absolutely.
Yeah, I like that one. Another good one is Woodpecker. Woodpecker's a really good tool.
Okay.
Quick mail is another good one. But if I were to give a tip, I would
Yep.
well, three things. Yeah, three things. One is be super memorable in your copy. Two is write to the audience of one, as if you're talking to a buddy, right? And then three, always assume prior communication. So in terms of being memorable, you want to make your offer memorable. Whatever the ask is, that has to stick out because everybody's getting emails, right? So what's going to make you stand out? So it's that offer. So definitely be memorable. Write to the audience of one. A lot of people write real nice emails, really professional. Love it, man. I would give them an A on an essay. Um,
And an F on conversion.
yeah, right. Right, well written, man. It's professional, professionally cold. No response, right? Because it's written as if you're writing a thesis statement.
Right.
Great thinking, but not the best, email to send out. So try to write to a buddy. Use the apostrophes. Don't capitalize everything. Maybe not capitalize anything.
Sure. So typically, as you would write to a buddy, I mean, it's supposed to be informal. It's got to be quick. You're talking to one person, even though you know that you're sending it out to 1,000. The person can't feel that you're writing it for 1,000. If that happens, they know it's a marketer, and delete
Yeah.
happens if they open it. So definitely great. So in your system today, when you're going out and looking for PPC clients, are you doing it through cold email? Is that one of your main strategies for finding leads, cold leads, I guess you could say, or converting cold traffic into warm leads?
Yep. So I'll go find a list. I'll either build it or buy it,
Mhm.
right? And I can either build it myself or I'll build it with a scraper. So when I build the list, I either build it or buy it. So that's the first thing.
Where would you buy it? So let's give some info there. I've never bought a list, so I'd be curious. Where would you go and buy a list?
A lot of people go to Info USA. I'd stay away from there.
Okay,
Try Basecamp leads. Let me pull it up here. Basecampleads.com.
perfect. I will link to that in the video as well. Okay, so if you buy it or scrape it, what's the next step in your system?
Leads AI, really quick, is another good one. Leadsai.com is a good one.
Okay,
So once you get your list, the next thing then is to break it up. Yeah, because you might get 50,000 emails, right? So you want to strategically break them up into batches.
okay,
And then you take that batch and you schedule it per day. So I'll break it up to about 500 to 750, and I'll schedule that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, same amount, 5 to 700 per day, and then I let it run.
okay.
I'll get the list, I'll break it up, throw it up in a scheduler, and then eventually I'll write the copy.
Gotcha. So when you're reaching out to so I mean, some of the things that I've shared in terms of outreach for myself, I never pitch SEO as a first product. I think it's a terrible first product to pitch. I've talked about, the subject line sells the open, the body is selling the next action. So understanding that you're just trying to move them through micro commitments, right? Micro commitment 1 is open the email. Micro commitment 2 is, take action. So presumably that's click a link to get some more information and or do something. So when you're formulating these things, are you selling PPC through your copy, or are you moving them through a funnel or a sequence where you're getting them to know, like, and trust you? And talk about your approach there. I mean, we all have our own nuances to how we do it, but giving people different perspectives is certainly helpful.
Yeah, I think when we talk about cold email, we think of sequences and then having them go through a journey.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a very appropriate way to do it. There's a lot of thought behind it where you have to craft copy 1, email 2, email 3, schedule it 3 days out, 5 days out, etc. I do that. That's my direct message approach. But I don't do that the majority of the time. 95% of the time, I don't do that.
Okay.
It's great. I think everybody should adopt it. I think everybody should have that in their approach.
Yeah.
But I tend to try to challenge myself to get as many responses as I can with one email, and then as soon as I get the lead, I pick up the phone and call, or I'll send it to my sales guy, and then he'll pick up the phone and call.
Okay.
And then, and then we take it from there. But I generally don't try to send follow-ups. However, if I do send follow-ups, that's actually the initial email that I send, it's positioned as a follow-up, but it's actually a real cold initial email, but it's a different copy.
Okay. So
and I go for that one email response. If I don't get a response, then I hit the next list, because I'm gonna get people to respond off of one email.
okay, and so when you're looking at email, what would be a good efficacy? So if you send out 500 emails in a day, how many responses are you targeting? Like what are you predicting is going to happen? I mean, you've sent out quite a bit of email, so I'm assuming you're going to have some metrics in your head that this was a good list or this was a bad list based on the number of returns.
Yeah, generally I stay between a 10 and 20 per send. So whether it's 500, between 500 and 1,000, I'm looking for about 10 to 15, good, positive, I'm interested responses.
Nice.
I'm gonna get more, right? I usually get more. Like, no, take me off your list, and then that tells me more about the niche than anything. So one thing to consider is real estate agents.
Yep.
Don't email those guys. If you do, you got to really butter them up and then put them through the sequence. The real estate agents, you want to put those guys through a sequence.
Yeah.
Just because of the nature of how they are, they're savvy, they're smart, right? So if you send a really, really very specific code email, like I guess the ways that I send it, you'll get a lot of mean replies, man.
They got a lot of time, and they're not making a lot of money, so the guys that are making money are not replying. They got better things to do, but there's a lot of real estate agents who are living, paycheck to paycheck, and they're getting a lot of spam, I guess.
Yeah, and they, because they have a lot of time, they spend a lot of their attention on learning.
Right.
So that therefore they feel like, based on real estate agent, because I have to be better than the other agent that's like 3 feet away in the next office going after the same, they by nature feel like I need to be better. I need to be better. So then when they get something from you, they're like, dude, I'm better than you. Like, what? Don't hit me up with a cold email. I know what I'm talking about. I know how to do digital marketing because I just went to the course last week. Like, okay, yeah, sure, fine. Okay, never mind.
Next.
That's why I put them through a sequence. A nice little butter them up, give them value, and then I'll never cite them.
So do you stick to a niche when you're doing your cold email or when you're doing PPC? Are you working within a niche where you're getting to understand that business, the pain points of the clients, their customer base, and what they're looking for? Like, I'm wondering, are you just stay in a geography? Like, I know you're in LA, so are you working just the LA area, or are you basically like, I pick a niche and I go deep in that niche right across the country?
I try to balance based off of the response.
Okay.
Because the response is what's going to dictate to me. As long as the service is consistent, I'll take on any niche.
Okay.
So right now it's just Facebook ads, right? So I could do Facebook ads for a lot of different niches, and then I can't do Facebook ads for a lot of different niches.
Right.
So as long as the service is consistent, it doesn't matter, what the offer is with the company, and it's nationwide too, so you can really do it anywhere.
Makes sense. So now looking back, you've been doing this for a while. In terms of cold email, you mentioned Facebook ads, so you're outreaching for Facebook ads. What are some things you wish you would have known when you first started doing this that you can share with either a younger version of yourself or somebody that's a little bit newer to the journey?
Yeah, I definitely spend more time talking to people like you, right? Connecting, having people that you can bounce ideas off of, but then also work with. So definitely be open to partnering as much as you can, and don't feel like you need to do everything. So the only way you'll be able to scale is one, through process, but then also through people.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah, if you have really good people around you, they don't have to be your employees. If they're really good and you can work, on a contract level, it'll help you skyrocket fast, and that's what allowed me to free myself up and just focus on lead gen, because I've got some really good team members, contractors, that just specialize in the service.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm a big education guy, so I always like to ask. So who are you following? What are you reading? What what locations are you do you go to for information related to what you're doing? So, thought leaders that maybe you follow.
Yeah, so back in the day, I used to be big on the they used to call them the third tribe marketers, right? The Pat Flynn's, the Derek Halperns, the Amy Porterfields. Those are the feel good, kind of very intelligent, really good overall marketing.
Sure.
But then when I got into the local, really hard to find. But I found most of it in the Facebook groups. So if you want to find out what's hot, what's hip, what's working, jump into the Facebook groups.
Drop some names that you like so we can promote them for sure.
So on my website, there's a list of the best Facebook groups to learn marketing, primarily local marketing.
Perfect.
And I list them all there. Yeah.
I'll drop a link for that below, so don't worry about finding a link, but I'll grab it from you offline and make sure that I put that up, because that's a good resource for people to have. So I'm going to end it with one question I got from Tim Ferriss. So what purchase have you made of $100 has most positively impacted your life? So, what have you spent $100 or less on that, you're really psyched about today?
Is it $100 one time or $100 every month?
$100
flat?
I'll let you take it either way. So you can answer it either way, whichever one you prefer.
I think what's lead pages. Yeah, it's less than $100 a month. I have a love-hate relationship internally with lead pages.
Yeah.
But I've got hundreds and hundreds of lead landing pages there, and it's done really well. Yeah,
awesome.
It's done well to help generate leads for clients. Right now ClickFunnels is great, but I think lead pages is still legit for that price point.
Absolutely great. Well, there's no limit, right? I mean, that's the big difference between the two as I see it. I use both too, and I would agree. For under $100, you're getting quite a bit of value, especially if you have a large client group.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down with us today here at SEO Cheat Guides. If you guys watching liked it, please hit the subscribe button below, and we'll be interviewing future marketers, and you can look forward to that in future videos. Rob, thanks a lot for taking the time to join us. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Perfect.